If you have a Brush Pro 20 or 17, what do you do when it needs cleaning? This is what I do. I use my stand that I made. It used to be a stepper, but now it's a stand for washing my Brush Pro. Let me show you how it works. I'll pause the video and set it all up for you. So, after a commercial job, your renovators or capture trays on the Brush Pro will need cleaning. How is the best way to clean them? I've tried many different ways, and that's why I made the stand. So the stand has a couple of different stations. This station obviously is for washing the brushes, and basically it's just a rod welded onto the frame. Just like that. And it does quite a nice job of holding onto the brushes so you can wash them with a pressure washer or a garden hose. Spins them quite nicely and you're able to even dry them a little bit. Further up on the rack here are these two 90-degree angle brackets that with this top portion does a great job of holding the renovators. And what I'll do is pause the video here for a second and I'll put the two trays in so that you can see how it works. Okay, so we've got one tray in the holder, and what I'll attempt to do with the other hand is carefully put the other one in. It just rests down on that bottom bracket right there, and you just kind of tip it in. And then they would need to be held in. And how I do that is I use a bungee cord. Here's a little different angle from the other side of how the trays mount in that holder I was describing. And all I do is I take the bungee cord that I had to shorten and I hook it on the outside corner of one of the trays and wrap it behind and clip it to the front of the, and then they both fall out. So just find yourself a bungee cord. You might have to make it smaller. I had to shorten this one by a few inches to get it to work properly. But all we're going to do is basically hook it on this lip, around the back, and onto this front lip. And because I don't have three hands, I'm going to have to pause the video again and show you what it looks like after I've hooked it up. Okay, so we've got the bungee cord hooked up, and like I described, it just goes around the trays to the frame, to the other tray, and allows you to use a pressure washer or garden hose to clean the grossness out of your renovator trays. The original two arms from the stepper, I heated them up and bent them into the shape that you see now, and cut and re-welded the arms and added a channel so that the top of the Brush Pro 20 has that bar, and it just sits in that channel that you see right there and allows you to use your pressure washer or garden hose to clean off your brushes. Works fantastic. And gonna show you a little trick. I'm actually gonna take it outside. It needs cleaning right now, so I'm gonna reset this up outside and show you exactly how I do it. Here we have it set up in the holder for washing, and I used a piece of dead tree carcass to hold the machine up in the proper angle, and I depressed the start switch. So actually, how I clean it and how I found what works really good is to plug it in, let the brushes spin while the garden hose is washing off the brushes for you. Works fantastic. I'm going to pause the video and let you see what that looks like. send along this lovely black extension cord. I'm pretty sure it's a 50-footer. It's a nice cord, but it's black. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to give anybody the excuse that they didn't see it and they tripped and fell and now they're gonna sue you. Or maybe they're just mad at you. I much prefer a high visibility cord like this one. At least it gives people a fighting chance. And if you really want to go all out, get a high visibility fluorescent cord that almost jumps out at you. How would you, I don't know, I guess there's still somebody that could say I didn't see it and I tripped and fell, but you'll quickly find out that these little keepers for the extension cord, there's one on the four corners of the handle, are kind of not very functional when it comes to wrapping up the cord and keeping it on the handle. So find yourself one of these. It's an awesome modification to the Brush Pro. I grabbed myself a couple pieces of flat bar aluminum, attached them to the handle. I think I got this reel at Costco. Maybe it was $50. Just attach it simply to the two flat aluminum bars you put on. Huge time saver. And then just plug the machine into one of these plugs. Or so you're working your way to the front door and you've got 50 feet of cord out and you only need 20. Unplug that, wrap it up a little, wrap up half of it, put it back on the spool, and then just keep going. And it's a huge time saver. When you're coming and when you're going, you don't need to play around with these horns that let go and all of the extension cord drops on the floor anyways. Quite frustrating. Not the best system to have for cord care. Now when you first get your machine and start using it, or if you go to the showroom before you buy it and actually see it, 9 times out of 10 it'll be set up like this. Now there's a black plug for attaching another Brush Pro in side by side, and they usually have the wheels. This model comes with the wheels like you see, and it'll be set up in this configuration. And so this is supposed to be the front of the machine, and this is typically the back of the machine. Now, the problem I found was that after a few years, I actually wore out this switch mechanism. And the switch mechanism is the only thing that holds the handlebar in the off or unlocked position. And when you start to wear this out, it'll trip on you or go into the on position when you don't want it to. And I'm going to put it down on the ground and show you what I mean. So here is how you would normally see the Brush Pro and how a lot of guys have it set up. And it works great until that keeper mechanism in the handle assembly wears out. And I'll try to show you what happens. You're going to your job, you might be traveling down a sidewalk, and you're going over some bumps and maybe a couple little things in the road here, and then all of a sudden your machine has just let go. And no es bueno. You have to stop, lift it back, reset it, and then you keep going, and it trips again. Because the handle assembly that holds it in the upright position has started to wear out. And there you have it. Now you got a machine like mine. This problem is easily avoidable, and here's how. It comes forward this way towards me, and all I've done is taken the wheels off the back and put them on the front, basically just switching it around from front to back. Now this puts all of the pressure on the other side of the handle stop, and you can go over bumps in the sidewalk all day long, and it's not going to trip on you because you're not putting any pressure on the handle assembly for it to wear out and trip prematurely. Much better.